Hi, Chuck Vosberg here. In this little video, I'd like to show you how to do a black and white conversion. So I've got a photograph open here that I'd like to convert into black and white, and we're going to use an adjustment layer to do it. So over here in the adjustments panel, right in the middle is the black and white adjustment layer button. So I'm going to click that, and you can see it's converted it to black and white right away. And it does a really good job just by clicking on that. If you go here in the panel, you can see that there are a number of controls. The ones I want to show you are first the auto, because that'll give you a good starting point. And Photoshop does a remarkable job of figuring out the contents of the photograph to give you a good result. I also want you to know, up here in the presets, there are a whole bunch of presets, and if you've ever shot black and white film using filters, there are a whole bunch of filters in here that kind of correlate to the filters you may have used with black and white film. I recommend going through them and just taking a look at them and see if any of them look good to you. So that might get you to where you need to be very quickly. Another thing you can do, and this is the way I prefer, is that you can decide on certain colors that you may want to change how they appear and how they convert. So it's this little hand right here. So you click this button to turn it on. And for example, let's say I want the green parts to register darker in this photograph. So I just click on a green part and hold down. And if you drag to the left, everything that's the color that you clicked on becomes darker. If you drag to the right, it makes that color, which is green in this point, much lighter. So you can control these individually. So we can make some decisions on how dark the greens are going to register. With the brown up here on the tree, we can control that. Now I want you to notice the chairs and also the deck, since they are also brown, those are changing as well. So it's a color-based selection that we're making. So we can very easily adjust this and go through and adjust how these colors convert. So it makes it really easy. And then of course there's these sliders here if you wanted to do them manually. Frequently people like to assign some kind of a tint to their photographs, like a nice sepia tone, for example. And that's controlled right here by this little checkbox marked Tint. So I'm going to turn that on, and the default setting in Photoshop is way too much in my opinion, but we can control that very easily by clicking this little color swatch right here, and we can adjust the intensity of that. Or, if you prefer, you can tint it with some other color. So you've got a tremendous amount of control here. So I'll go back to the regular sepia color, make something that looks kind of nice, and then click OK. So now it's got this tint, which you can turn on and off by simply clicking the little checkbox right here. If you were to have a series of photographs that you'd like to apply the same settings to, you can go up to the little menu button in the upper right hand corner of this panel, and you can go to Save Black and White Preset. If you save this black and white preset, then it'll be in the preset menu. So when you open your next photograph, you can simply just choose your preset and it'll apply exactly the same settings. And that's really useful if you have a series of photographs that are going to be displayed together. So I'm going to close this panel, and I want you to notice down here in the Layers panel that a black and white adjustment layer has been added. If you want to come back later and change this, you simply double click on this little symbol right here on the layer itself, and it brings it right back the way you left it, so you can make further adjustments. And you also still have access to the color version of the picture, because since this is an adjustment layer, it doesn't make any actual changes to the picture itself. It just converts it as if we were laying a filter on top of the photograph. So I'm going to click the little eyeball here in the Layers panel to turn that off, and now we could print it out in color as well. So we have both versions available here. And when we save this as a Photoshop document, these stay with the file permanently. So making a black and white is just that easy, so have fun!